So I thought this week I'd give you an exercise to go with all of the 3 notes per string scale shapes that I've been putting online recently. Now this particular exercise is one of those, it's really useful because it's something that a newcomer can get something out of, but it's also one of those exercises that I still do myself. So I was actually playing this last week, which is what gave me the idea of doing a video on it this week. Now the goals of this, the design of this exercise is to allow you to work on some of the idiosyncrasies that you have in 3 notes per string scale shapes. So for example, you find that this uses a 16th note kind of feel to it, rather than a triplet feel. One of the problems you find, or people find when they first start using 3 notes per string scales, is they innately have that kind of a triplet feel because you've got 3 notes per string, so it's natural to bring out every 3rd note. The other problems people have are around string crossing, so this exercise has got string crossing in it. The other thing you tend to find when you're playing 3 notes per string scale shapes is that you start with your index finger when you're ascending, and you finish with your 3rd finger or 4th finger when you finish a phrase. So in this particular exercise we actually start with different notes, the 1st finger, 2nd finger and 3rd finger, and you work through those as well. If you don't know the 3 notes per string scale shapes, then you should be able to check them out. I'll put a link in this video as well to another video that works through all of the positions going up the neck, so that should be helpful. But let's zoom in and I'll go through it now. Okay, so I'm going to play in D major. So I'll start with my index finger on the 10th fret. And there's the 3 notes per string scale shape that I'm playing through, but you can use any of the positions going up and down the neck, and you should use all of them actually. So there's my scale, and all I'm going to do is just ascend 3 strings and then come back down again like this. And then I start to loop it. And the idea here is to try and get it nice and even and fluid. Get your picking accurate, get your string crossing accurate as well. And just get that nice and even. And then once you've got that, go and move on to the next group of 9 notes, starting with the middle finger on that bottom E string. And you finish on the G string with your index finger. Again, see if you can get that moving. And then once you've got that going, start with the 3rd finger or the little finger on that E string. And you finish with the middle finger on the G string. And get that looping. And then keep moving on. Start with the next note, so that's the 1st finger on the A string. And you finish with the little finger on the G string. And then keep moving. And that's it really, you're just working all the way across the neck until you hit that final position. And then you can turn it around, go back the other way. Just like that, and see if you can go all the way across and all the way back again. And just loop on the areas that you have the most trouble with, and just see if you can get those as smooth and as fluid as you can. It's a great exercise to do if you've got a metronome as well. So again, I'd normally set it up to play 4 notes per click on the metronome, but it just depends on where you are in your particular stage of development. So that's it. Hopefully that was useful for you. If you want to know more about these 3 notes per string scale shapes, it's worth checking out my other videos, my deep dive into 3 notes per string scale shapes. I put 2 of those up there as well, which talk about how these are created and gives you some of the underlying patterns that you find in there. So they're quite interesting. But otherwise, we'll catch up next time. Goodbye.